Maria asks her older sister, Asia, if she can get some candy, but Asia refuses because they need to save every dollar to reach New York. It turns out their mother has died, and now they're fleeing from their abusive father. Asia reassures Maria that she's safe now and shows her bird tattoo, explaining that they'll never live in a cage again. When Asia turns away, Maria secretly steals the candy. At that moment, their father walks into the store, so the girls quickly hide behind a shelf. The manager tells him he spotted them in the back, so he starts searching for them. When he reaches the shelf, he only discovers their abandoned basket. The girls attempt to leave the store, but Maria's stolen candy sets off the alarm. While the manager calls the police, their father runs after the girls outside. His friend suddenly blocks their path with a car, forcing Asia to pull out her gun. Her father keeps moving toward them anyway, leaving Asia no choice but to shoot him. As the police arrive, the man grabs Maria's leg. After hesitating for a moment, Asia throws away the gun and runs. 10 years later in New York, Asia arrives at the Virgil Hotel and notices the disturbing decoration hanging above the entrance. When Lily opens the door, Asia introduces herself as the new maid, Isabel. Lily says she sounds different from how she did on the phone, so Asia shows her a fake ID and claims she's recovering from a cold. After Asia steps inside, Lily activates all the elaborate locks on the door using a key card. She explains that the Virgil was built in 1923, and the neighborhood used to be far more dangerous, so the locks are reminders of that era. Now, it's one of the most exclusive places in Manhattan. Lily asks Asia to surrender her phone because the residents are guaranteed complete privacy. A few guests are sitting in the lobby, so Lily introduces Asia to Sharon, the owner of the fastest-growing anti-aging cosmetics company. Sharon notices that Asia is soaked from the rain and offers her a jacket. She also asks about the bruise around her eye, so Asia claims she slipped in the shower. Lily then leads Asia to her room, explaining that the entire lower floor is reserved for the staff. Asia notices several maids eating dinner together at a large table and thinks they seem unsettling. Suddenly, a boy named Damien calls Asia a piggy, so Lily scolds him and sends him away. She explains to Asia that the staff is holding a small celebration because one of the maids is being rewarded for her loyalty. When they finally arrive at Asia's room, the door opens to reveal Lily's husband, Ray, who says he was only taking out the trash. Lily reminds him to stay away from the new girls, but he insults her and walks off. Then she tells Asia to rest for the evening, and tomorrow she'll receive a key and a complete tour. Later, Asia takes a shower and the steam fogs up the mirror. Suddenly the words, "They will kill you," appear on the glass, but they vanish before Asia steps out. While getting ready for bed, she hears a strange noise inside the vents, almost like breathing. She climbs onto a chair to look closer, only to be startled by a face that causes her to fall. Then Asia hears a woman laughing, so she leaves her room only to find the hallway empty. The lights begin shutting off one by one until the entire corridor is dark. A nightlight suddenly switches on, and Asia notices someone walking behind her, but nobody responds when she speaks. Terrified, she returns to her room and locks the door, blocking it with a chair. In the middle of the night, while Asia sleeps, someone unlocks her door and attempts to enter, but the chair keeps it jammed shut. The intruder then appears inside the vent and uses a hidden passage behind the refrigerator to enter the room. The man is wearing a pig mask, but a hole in it allows him to lick Asia's foot. When he leans closer to her face, he accidentally drools on her, startling her awake. Asia doesn't see anyone in the room, but she notices the drool on her cheek. When she checks under the bed, she finds nothing there. The moment she sits back up, the man presses a rag soaked with chloroform against her face. Asia fights back, slamming the attacker into the mirror before throwing him onto the table, snapping his neck. Strange noises echo through the walls, so Asia tries to crawl away, but the chloroform has weakened her body. Another masked person crawls out of the vent and moves the fridge so the partner can enter. Asia reaches the nightstand and rips the wires from the lamp before passing out. The intruders remove their masks, revealing Kevin and Sharon. Kevin wonders why the first attacker didn't wait for them, and Sharon assumes he likes fooling around with the maids before killing them. Kevin moves the chair aside so two more masked residents can enter, while Sharon drags Asia, who suddenly wakes up. By biting the exposed wires, the electric shock fully revives her and throws Sharon backward. While the men stare in shock, Asia rushes to hide inside the closet. The first attacker soon regains consciousness, and Sharon breaks apart the table so they can use the legs as weapons. When Kevin opens the closet door, Asia immediately decapitates him with a sword. She brought multiple weapons in her suitcase, and she manages to gun another man down before Sharon kicks the shotgun from her hands. Then Asia attacks again with her blade, battling all the remaining guests while using Sharon as a shield. With a few swift slashes and quick movements, she takes them all down. One of the men recovers quickly and tries grabbing her shotgun, but Asia chops off both his foot and hand at once before slicing through his head via the mouth. She manages to reclaim her shotgun, but she's dragged back and disarmed again. The fight continues, and Asia exchanges several more blows with Sharon and the final man before hiding beneath the bed. Suddenly, she bursts out while using the mattress as protection, stabbing through it multiple times and killing the man. Sharon dodges her attack and grabs the shotgun, firing through the mattress. Asia avoids the blast too, and Sharon can't fire again because she's out of ammo. She hurls the shotgun at Asia, who catches it and throws it back, knocking Sharon down. As the women continue fighting, one of the men throws a knife, so Asia moves Sharon in its path, causing it to stab her in the back. With a headbutt, Asia knocks her down and finally kills her while the last man escapes. Asia chases him into the hallway and stabs him just as Lily appears clapping. She concludes that Asia has been lying to her and demands an explanation. A flashback reveals that Asia's father survived being shot, and Maria was returned to his custody while Asia was captured and sent to prison. She got into so many fights there that she eventually became an expert fighter. A few months earlier, Asia hired an investigator to locate her sister. The man discovered that Maria was working at the Virgil, a hotel where staff members frequently disappeared. Every employee they hired was either a minority, illegal immigrant, or homeless person. The police never investigated too deeply because the wealthy guests bribed them. The investigator also found out that a woman named Isabel had recently been hired as a maid. So after Asia was released from prison, she tracked Isabel down and stole her identity. Back in the present, Asia tells Lily that she came for her sister and wants answers as well. Lily explains that she also has a family to care for, and they have special needs. At that moment, the people Asia killed begin walking out of her room. Kevin is carrying his own head, while another man carries his severed foot and hand. They place the detached body parts back where they belong, and the skin instantly reconnects them. Suddenly, a maid appears and attacks Asia, who quickly stabs her. The maid grabs the blade and announces that Asia has been captured, forcing Asia to retreat into another room. Damien yells at her for hurting his mother, while Asia pushes a desk against the door. When Damien stabs her in the back with a screwdriver, Asia punches him unconscious. In the hallway, Lily tells the maid she'll need to clean up all the blood once she resurrects and takes back the blade. Then she informs Asia that the building is now locked down, so she should cooperate. Asia smashes a mirror and uses a shard to look at her back so she can pull out the screwdriver. She then tries to open the window and even throws a chair at it, but nothing works. She also moves the refrigerator, but there's no hidden passage in this room, and the vent won't open either. When Asia kicks a carpet aside, she uncovers a trap door and instantly jumps into the tunnel beneath to escape. As she crawls through it, she hears someone approaching, so she hides in the ceiling until the person leaves. Then she continues moving and only stops when she hears voices overhead. The group blames one another for failing to catch her and mentions something involving immortality. Asia creeps closer and sticks her finger through a hole, accidentally shifting a book on a shelf. The villains hear her and open the shelf, so Asia quickly closes it again. However, she's forced to flee when Lily starts stabbing through the wall and eventually impales her hand. The killers enter the tunnel to finish her off, but Asia rips her hand free from the blade and keeps running. Lily sends the others after her, reminding them they need her alive. A new chase begins, and Asia crawls as quickly as possible, but Sharon manages to seize her ankle. Asia kicks her away, and they exchange punches before Asia stabs Sharon's hand with the screwdriver. Then she tackles her and repeatedly stabs her in the chest. Once Sharon appears dead, Asia takes the shotgun and ammo from her and leaves. Unfortunately, Sharon wakes back up and grabs her again. When Sharon crawls on top of her, Asia blows her head off with a shotgun blast. Kevin hears the noise and heads toward it, while Sharon's headless body rises and continues chasing Asia. They run for a while until Sharon suddenly freezes. Asia raises the shotgun only to watch Sharon run off. Suddenly, Ray grabs Asia and drags her into a dark passage before Kevin can locate her. After Kevin leaves, Ray reveals that he wrote the message on the mirror. He explains that the hotel is a temple devoted to Satan that has existed for 100 years, though the family behind it is far older. The founders discovered a method to communicate with Satan and struck a bargain: immortality in exchange for human sacrifices. As long as someone's name remains on the list, they cannot die, no matter how many times they're killed. Even a tiny piece of skin is enough for them to regenerate. All the members are wealthy people who use their money to protect the hotel's secrets. They hire nobodies as staff so they can murder them without consequences, though a select few are offered the chance to join the family. If anyone makes a mistake, their name is removed from the list and they're killed permanently. They need Asia alive for tonight's sacrifice. While the pair continue crawling through the tunnels, Sharon's eye begins following them, even bouncing wildly to climb up a shaft. On the next floor, Asia looks through the vent and sees a large group engaging in depraved acts. Ray explains that immortality has made these rich people bored, so each floor is dedicated to a different vice. Eventually, they descend into a room where Ray has imprisoned a maid. To Asia's shock, it's Maria. She immediately tells her sister the building is a cult and she came to rescue her, but Maria already knows the truth. A flashback reveals that while Asia was in prison, Maria worked as a cleaning lady for a man who abused her. One night, she saw a job advertisement for the Virgil and immediately applied. The next time she woke up, she was surrounded by cult members. She was supposed to become the next sacrifice, but Lily explained that they had lost a maid after catching her stealing and offered the position to Maria instead. Naturally, she accepted. Back in the present, Maria accuses Asia of abandoning her and says this place is her home now. The sisters argue bitterly, and Asia eventually punches Maria unconscious. Then she asks Ray how to escape, so he explains that the only way out is the fire ladder on the roof, and reaching it requires passing through the extremely dangerous 9th floor. Since he's tired of living in this hotel, Ray agrees to help her. Suddenly, Sharon's eye drops from the vent, and Asia crushes it underfoot. Meanwhile, Kevin discovers Sharon's body, which contains all the information her eye witnessed. She uses gestures to tell Kevin about Asia's plan, and he texts the details to the others. 2 men enter the room searching for Asia, so she quickly shoots them to drive them back. Then Asia carries Maria while she and Ray run, pursued by Lily, Kevin, and another man. When they encounter several wild girls in the hallway, Ray throws them toward their pursuers. He also blocks the group while Asia drags Maria into the dumbwaiter to escape. By the time Kevin opens the dumbwaiter, the sisters are already gone, so he captures Ray instead. In the kitchen, Asia pulls Maria out of the dumbwaiter and accidentally knocks over a pan. The noise attracts a cultist, so she quickly hides behind the pots. The man grabs the shotgun from the dumbwaiter and moves the pots aside to find the sisters, so Asia tries defending herself. The guy is much larger and keeps beating her down, but Maria smashes his skull with a fire axe. Inside Lily's room, she asks Ray why he betrayed them. He explains that years ago he believed he was helping the neighborhood by eliminating criminals from the streets, but in recent years, they've only been murdering innocent women searching for honest work. Lily reminds him they were nobodies too before the cult gave them a home, but Ray insists this place is a prison. Kevin interrupts because it's time for the announcement, so Lily leaves Ray under Sharon's watch while her head slowly regenerates. Over the broadcast system, Lily announces that all elevators have been disabled and Asia's picture has been sent to the group chat. Every cultist and maid must arm themselves and search the entire building for Asia, but she must be captured alive. In the kitchen, Maria finishes tying up the attacker and tells Asia she'll distract the staff so Asia can escape through the elevator shaft. After Maria leaves, Asia hears a woman screaming, so she grabs the shotgun and the axe before going to investigate. In the dining room, a cult member lunges at Asia, forcing her to fire. Several people hiding behind the tables immediately scatter. Using the darkness to their advantage, they move around her, steal the shotgun, and repeatedly beat her. Overwhelmed by pain and fear, Asia runs until she finally escapes the dining room. In the hallway, Asia crashes into a cart filled with alcohol. She grabs a towel, soaks it in whiskey, wraps it around the axe, and sets it ablaze. Just as she prepares to attack, the cultists reveal they've captured Maria. Furious, Asia charges into the room and begins slaughtering the cultists, fighting far better now that the flames provide light. She burns them alive one by one and uses the furniture to her advantage. When a man shoves her against a table, she chops off half his foot before brutally beating him. Another man grabs the shotgun, so Asia flips a table up as a shield and leaps forward. The blast destroys the table, and Asia bursts through it to slice the man in half. As the sprinklers finally activate, Asia steps on a man who insists they're actually nice people once she gets to know them. Suddenly, he's silenced by a shotgun blast, and Asia turns to see Maria holding the weapon. She hugs her sister and apologizes for everything, finally agreeing they should leave together. Since the cultists are beginning to resurrect, the sisters flee. They force open the elevator doors and climb into the shaft before anyone notices them. Asia explains to Maria that she learned to fight in prison and that it was still better than living with their father. Maria reveals their dad died from cancer 2 years earlier, causing Asia to apologize for abandoning her. Meanwhile, Lily notices the dining room has been barricaded with the axe and immediately removes it, only to discover the cult slowly reviving. She orders everyone to search every room and eventually notices blood smeared across the elevator doors. Hearing the noise, the sisters begin climbing the ladder inside the shaft. Soon a man climbs after them, and Asia fires the shotgun, but he dodges every shot. Asia now has to reload and nearly drops the ammunition. Thankfully, Maria catches it. The next shell jams inside the shotgun, making it useless, so Asia throws the weapon at the man. On the 9th floor, the doors open and another cultist attempts to grab the girls, but they manage to pull him down and throw him into the shaft. The falling man causes his partner to slip from the ladder before the body crashes onto the elevator roof, instantly turning into human mush. When the sisters step onto the 9th floor, they discover Lily, the maids, and the entire cult waiting for them. Knowing they need her alive, Asia threatens to kill herself if they don't release Maria. However, Lily mocks her, explaining that she doesn't truly know her sister. It turns out Maria accepted the devil's deal too. Isabel was meant to become Maria's first sacrifice, but Asia arrived instead, and now Maria's time has run out. If she doesn't sacrifice someone tonight, she'll die. Lily orders the men to seize the sisters. Asia fights back and ends up falling into the shaft, but a cultist grabs her leg and saves her. He drags her back onto the 9th floor, where Lily stabs her in the stomach. Afterward, the group brings the sisters to the shrine on the roof, where a pig's head mounted on a stick stands among burning candles. When Lily offers some of Asia's blood, Satan appears at the window and enters the room to possess the pig's head. It smells the blood and begins speaking to start the ritual. The cult explains that Asia is the new sacrifice, while Maria and Ray are traitors. Satan uses the dangling tentacle-like organs from the head to remove Ray's name from the list written on the pig's skin. Then it orders Lily to kill Ray, and when she hesitates, it threatens her life. Lily shares a few final, loving words with Ray before slashing his throat, killing him instantly. After the cult tosses Ray's body into the trash, Maria apologizes to Satan and begs for another chance. Satan tells her to write her name and kill Asia to join the family. Maria writes on the pig's head before turning toward her sister, saying she wishes she had more time and this is the only option. Suddenly, Maria kills herself, and Asia collapses beside her, apologizing. Before dying, Maria begs Asia to destroy the cult. It turns out Maria wrote Asia's name on the head, and Satan confirms the sacrifice counts, making Asia immortal. Asia quickly cuts away the piece of skin containing her name and hides it in her pocket. After all her wounds heal, she throws a knife into a man's head. 2 more attackers rush her, so Asia traps one with a chain and hangs him from the ceiling. Using the same chain, she restrains the other before stabbing him to death. Kevin attacks next, and they exchange several blows before Asia impales him against the wall. When Sharon charges her, Asia swiftly decapitates her and throws the head into the trash. At that moment, the first man resurrects, so Lily grabs the knife from his skull and attacks, but Asia defeats her with a single strike. The man then grabs Asia by the throat and smashes her into the wall, accidentally rupturing several pipes. Asia takes advantage of the moment to spin him around and impale his head on the broken pipe. As the remaining cultists resurrect again, Lily begs Satan for help. The pig's head covers Lily's own head, while the tentacles burrow into her flesh so she can channel its power. Moving on all fours with the tentacles assisting her, Lily attacks Asia and a brutal new battle begins. Lily's body is now much faster and stronger, making the attacks relentless, but Asia still manages to sever the tentacles. After several more exchanges, the pig bites down on Asia's knife to disarm her and stabs her in the shoulder. Then, Lily uses Maria's voice to make Asia feel guilty over her sister's death. Furious, Asia grabs the pig by the nose and rips the head away from Lily's body. When Lily attacks again, Asia smashes her with the pig's head and sends her flying until she's impaled on the stick holding the head. Afterward, Asia says she wants Maria back, and Satan explains he'll resurrect her in exchange for another sacrifice. Asia then drenches the pig's head in gasoline and sets it ablaze. As the names burn away, all the cultists in the room die from their injuries. Then Asia sends the burning head down to the lower floor on a cart, where it slides through the corridor and falls into the elevator shaft before exploding. Holding Maria's body in her arms, Asia orders the surviving cultists and maids to leave. Then she uses Lily's keycard to finally unlock the front door. Outside, the investigator waits for her inside his car. When Asia places Maria in the back seat, she discovers her sister got the same bird tattoo she has. Asia pulls out the pig's skin and reveals she changed her own name to Maria's, causing Maria to resurrect as her wounds heal shut. The sisters embrace while the pig's skin continues pulsing. The investigator drives them away before the shrine explodes. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.